Okay. Page 53. Halakha Hey. Hanotel yadav leperot. If a person does netilat yadayim when he sits down to eat fruits, what kind of fruits? Now, obviously not fruits that were wet, because then you have to netilat yadayim anyways. But he says, I'm eating a meal of fruit. I want to be strict and I want to wash my hands like I do for bread. This person is among the arrogant people. Arrogant person. Haga adds the Rama, v'dafka shnotanan b'torat chiyuv. This is only when he does it as if there's an obligation to do that. If you wash them because of cleanliness, because his hands were not clean, he's allowed to. So this is only if you think you're washing your hands because there's some kind of halakha to wash your hands. But if you're doing it because you feel your hands are dirty, then that's allowed, says the Rama. Do you think the Rama is arguing with Maran or agreeing with Maran? He's agreeing with Maran. Rather, what is he doing?
He's just filling in more details.
Exactly, he's adding a point. There's no reason here to say that he's arguing with Maran yet. Uvasar tzli, and roasted meat. Yesh mi shenira midvarav. There is someone who you could read in his words. I mean, there is an opinion that says, Af al pi shemohel mohal, I don't know how to pronounce that word, even though there's like juice of the meat, let's say there's stuff that comes out of the meat when you cook it. Tofeh chalav is moist on it, dinav kiperot, it's like fruit. Meaning, you can't wash your hands for that either. Why roasted meat and not cooked meat? What's the roasted meat and cooked meat? Roasted is on a grill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? How do you roast meat on the grill?
Fire.
Is that meat wet or dry?
Dry.
Officially it's dry. The moisture you put it in is dried off. So what is that liquid on it?
Oil?
It's the oil, the fat, it's the whatever's coming out of the meat. That's not liquid to make the meat require netilat yadayim. But if you cooked meat in a wine sauce in the oven, that's meat that's inside of liquid which would require netilat yadayim. Yeah. V'tafshil mechitim. And any kind of food which is from grains of wheat. Vehem neguvim, and they're dry. Dino kiperot, it has the same status as fruit. Let's understand a little what we're talking about.
Yeah, can you repeat that last line again?
If there's food that's made out of wheat, vehem neguvim, and they were dried, let's say a cracker. Dino kiperot, that's like fruit, in which case you don't wash your hands before you eat it. Netilat yadayim leperot. Washing your hands for fruit. You have to understand, Maran is writing this Shulchan Aruch, assuming that you don't know yet that you only wash your hands for bread and for things that touch liquids. So he's telling you what you don't wash your hands on.
So if you wash an apple and you dry it completely,
You don't wash your hands. Lo tiknu chachamim netilat yadayim. Our rabbis only instituted the, you see this on 53? Chav bet, where it says Chav bet, in the middle of the page. The last lines of the middle. Lo tiknu chachamim netilat yadayim. Our rabbis only instituted netilat yadayim, washing of the hands. Ela lamir shochel suda shel pat. For a person who's eating a meal of pat. What is pat?
Bread.
Bread. Mipnei sheseuda zo, because this meal, yesh la kviut, it's an established meal. Ma she'en ken, kshochel pirot. That's not so when you eat fruits. She'en zeder kviut, because that kind of meal is not a established meal. You eat some oranges, apples, bananas. That's not a meal that you sit down and have a meal. And therefore, Chachamim did not institute netilat yadayim for that. It's the same idea. The idea behind this is that even though you can offer fruits as a tumah offering, and washing your hands has to do with eating the tumah offering and holiness, that's not according to the Torah. According to the Torah, you only bring grains for Truma, and therefore only things that are made of grains do you do Netilat Yadayim. But the idea of what someone might think to do Netilat Yadayim for fruits is because, say, they were offered in the temple too, and you had to eat them with impurity, so maybe I should eat my fruits in purity too. But no, the decree of our rabbis was not on fruits, only on the 5 grains made into bread.
We just learned that you do it.
That's don't get confused. That's because it has to do with water and liquids. Okay. On page 54. Vanotel yadav, and someone who washes his hands, kodem achilat pirot, before he eats fruits. Harizeh migasei haruach, he is from the arrogant people. Shemarei yuhara be'atmo. Because he is showing off. Yuhara, that word. See, yuhara? We're going to take a tangent in 5 minutes about yuhara. Yuhara is a halakha that forbids people from showing off how religious they are. He's trying to show like he's particular about mitzvot more than anybody else. And only if there was water on the fruits. Or it was dipped into water or liquids. You have to wash your hands. But that's not because it's the fruit, but rather because it's a wet fruit. But even if you want to wash your hands, when you eat fruit, without a blessing, you're not allowed to. Because the reason you're doing it is you think there's a halakha that you have to wash your hands. And the Rama says it's only when you're not doing it for a mitzvah. And some say, if you want to wash your hands, when you come to eat fruits, and you wash it differently than the way you wash your hands when you eat bread. Like you wash without a cup. Or you do it in one of the ways that you shouldn't wash your hands for bread. That you're allowed to do that. There are such rabbis that say that if you wash your hands differently than you wash your hands for bread, then it's allowed. But that's not the halakha.
That's not.
You wash the lettuce, and I put it in the spinner, and you take off all the water, but you don't take off all the water.
It's not dry.
It's not dry, no. And then, so you'd have to wash before you eat the lettuce.
And then already we're talking about eating with a fork, right?
That's
Which
right.
we brought some opinions over that.
Right, okay.
56. I want to read to the end and then take a tangent. And if your hands were dirty, like you touched a covered part of your body, such as under your shirt or your pants. Or you touched the covered parts of your body. You have to wash your hands and to clean them even before you eat fruits. Because it's forbidden to make any blessing over the fruit until your hands are clean. So when your hands are dirty, you can't make any bracha. You can't say Hashem's name. But that's not because you're washing for the fruit. It's because you're washing in order to say Hashem's name. And you don't wash with a cup and all that. You just wash your hands in the sink like a regular person who's cleaning their hands. Yes?
No,
Okay.
You
Not when you're coming to make the bracha.
Rabbi, so
why not?
so
Hey,
the-
Mario, come on, answering this.
so let's say your hand is not clean. So I'm working in a cement.
Right.
And since my hand is kind of like dirty a little bit, but it's not too dirty. And somebody offered me an apple or whatever, so I'm not gonna do the bracha from it. But my hand is not, it's like dirty with concrete or whatever. If I say that blessing, I will say the name I got in vain.
You can argue concrete is dirty. That's interesting. Would you eat with those hands?
Like myself, I'm used to this kind of work. So let's say right now my hands, they're very clean right now. But before, when I work something else, like
You probably would
Yes.
wash your hands and then eat.
but I still,
Imagine if you were a plumber
Mhm.
and you're in the middle of some job stinking somebody's toilet. Now you want to go eat your lunch. You go wash your hands,
Yes.
right? That's how you wash your hands.
Oh, okay. So because if I don't do this, now that I know this, I'm gonna make the blessing, and I will say the blessing, and that's compare, like, say the names, Hashem names and name.
Who do I owe money to?
Faye?
Oh, okay, got it. Thank you. Yeah. Page 57. Yes.
You're studying Torah, you go like that. You gotta go the same. You don't wash with the top?
You have to make your hands clean. That's not a ritual cleaning, that's a physical cleaning.
It's spiritual, your hands are dirty.
They are dirty. According to the halakha, your hands are dirty when you touch parts. You see people scratching their head, their hands are dirty. They think they're not because they're gross. Halakha says it is.
Really? So it's not
I once saw a guy stick his hand in her shirt, scratching his chest. He took it. Yeah, what are you, a monkey? What are you? That we need on camera.
No.
But if you don't know if your hands got dirty, I mean, they're just regular hands. Even though you didn't go out of your way to make your hands clean. My hands right now, are they clean? If you put cookies here, would I eat with them? Yeah, I would. What do my hands do today? Since the last time I washed my hands, what did I do with my hands? I didn't stick it on my shirt. I didn't touch your hair. I didn't touch the garbage. What do my hands do? I didn't write nothing. My hands are clean. So even though I'm not sure they're clean, meaning I didn't like watch them the whole day to make sure they're clean, but they're clean halachically. And you're not allowed to wash your hands. Yeah? It's a very clear-cut halakha. Unless your hands are dirty, you're not allowed to wash your hands before you eat fruit. If you're doing it because you think there's an extra mitzvah to wash your hands before that. This is not so relevant to us. I want to read you a list of things. What is the definition of yuhara?
You just told us it was had to do with
Arrogance.
arrogance.
Ego, pride. Yuhara is a particular kind of arrogance. Something which is permitted according to halakha, but a person decides to be strict and not eat it or do it, even though halakha permits it. And he does it in a way that shows like, hey, look at me. I am so strict that look how holy I am. Let's give you an example. Give me an example of yuhara.
You have to give us the fruit, you wash it, you dry it, and then you
Okay,
You
that's
wash it.
our classic example of yuhara.
Oh. Well, I thought the one was walking with your head lifted up. Is that what you're saying?
That's arrogance in general. Here it's particularly when you're doing a halakha, it's not a halakha.
maybe you make the kamotza and start eating, and then you take some piece of food and you do another bracha on adama or something. You don't have to, but you're doing it because.
Okay. Let's give an example of yuhara that we've studied already. You remember in the Shulchan Aruch in the 3rd chapter, we started way back ago. There's a little sentence that you say when you enter the bathroom. Before you go into the bathroom, what do you say?
Well, something about like the spirits.
But the angels that are with you, what do you tell the angels that are with you?
Oh, you like a pardon them because they're not going to enter with
Right, you
you.
pardon them, please wait outside for me. I'm going inside to the bathroom and I'll come back out to join you soon. There's a certain formula you have to say before you go to the bathroom. Maran in the Beit Yosef, he quotes the Abu Draham, or Abu Derham. It says that you're not allowed to say this unless you're a holy person that knows that the angels travel around with you wherever you go. But us regular people that the angels don't travel with, we don't say this. And somebody who says it
Arrogant.
is arrogant. Imagine I stop in the bathroom. Excuse me, angels, please. I'm going to the bathroom now. Wait for me out here. It's like, someone says, who are you talking to? My angels. You have angels? Who do you think you are? So a person has to be careful. Because this could be and it's probably the reason why nobody even says it today in the first place. Because who actually is of this level that they have angels walking around with them? There's an argument between the Poskim. Whether it applies only when you're around other people, or is yuhara even when you're alone, on your own. And so to this, Rav Perez answers that there could be a compromise. This thing about the angels, even if you're home and you're alone, and you say, angels, wait for me outside, that's arrogance, because you think that you're so holy that there are angels there. But other things that are just chumrot that other people don't know about, maybe that's not arrogance, because you're the only person who knows you're doing them. But there are those who say that even alone, there's this idea of yuhara. The Maharshal writes, listen to me very carefully what this Maharshal says. I wrote this Maharshal in my book, but nobody cares. At least the Jewish world today doesn't care. Mi shemachmir b'fnei rabim b'devar shemutar. Somebody who's strict in public about something that halachically is permissible. Di'ika lemechash yuhara. And there might be a chance that's yuhara. Min nadinoto. Beit Din excommunicates him from the Jewish community. We throw him out of the Jewish community. He doesn't count for a minyan. We don't say hello to him. We don't answer amen after his blessings. We don't marry him. We don't bury him. We don't do anything to do with him. But if you know that he's doing it for the sake of heaven, en min nadinoto, you don't excommunicate him. So if he was doing it to show off, you excommunicate him. And if not, we don't excommunicate with him. We don't excommunicate him. And if he does it in front of his rabbi, he's strict about something in front of his rabbi. And his rabbi is lenient in this matter. Minadinoto, we excommunicate him, afilu oseh l'shem shamayim, even if he does it for the sake of heaven. If I was in front of our parents, and our parents is not particular about something, but I am, and I'm strict in front of him, even if I'm doing it because I want to follow Hashem's path, the Beit Din should excommunicate me. How do you have the right, chutzpah, in front of your rabbi, to do something as if you're holier than him, as if you keep halakha more than him? People do this every day. Baruch Hashem, not in our community. I was once the rabbi of a community, and there was a family that they kept Chalav Yisrael, or they thought they kept Chalav Yisrael. And they went around to this, they had a baby, you know, people cook for them after having a baby. And everybody went asking every family to cook for them, except when it came to me, they asked me, please don't cook for them. Just if you can donate some money, we'll buy food from a restaurant for them. I said, I'm the rabbi of this person, this family. If they can't eat from my food, it's okay. I'm not going to get involved at all. It made a problem for me. Hey, you don't want to help, you don't want to this, you don't want to that. What do you want from me? Did I do according to halakha? Absolutely. Was it correct? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't always fight with him. But it's a halakha that they violate. I'm going to go to our parents' house and he gives me something to eat. I'm going to ask him, hey, is it kosher? Laugh, but you know how many people do that to me?
Really?
Absolutely. Do you know how many people do that to Rabbi parents?
We're all parents?
They'll go ask him a halakha question because they need his advice. But then he'll give them something to eat and they'll ask him what hechsher it is. You fool, you came all the way here to ask him a question you don't know the answer to. But you're going to make sure he's eating kosher? It's a very normal thing in the world today.
It doesn't make sense. You don't trust his food. Why would you trust his answer? Doesn't make sense.
But this happens with all kinds of things.
People do some things for us.
The Marshal finishes, says, "Vafilu en pashut kach la'atir." And even if the rabbi's opinion, it's not so easy to prove that the rabbi's right. I mean, the rabbi might actually be lenient, not correctly. Lo yachmir neged v'rabo. He does not rule against his rabbi's ruling. Im lo sheyesh lo raya lisod vav, unless you have a solid proof, like it says Shulchan Aruch something, and your rabbi's violating that. But if it's an interpretation, and you can interpret one way or the other way, even though your interpretation might be more solid than your rabbi's, you still do what your rabbi says. This halakha is crucial. The Jewish community forgot about this halakha. The Pitkei Tshuva, maybe it's the Pitkei Tshuva. Pitkei Tshuva says, what happens here? He quotes from the book Torah Hashem. What if somebody wants to be strict? Let's say the rabbis say that if crushed up bugs got mixed into your food, and they're nullified in 60, but I don't want to eat it. I'd rather skip something that might not be kosher. Says the Pitkei Tshuva, heavy kmo epikosut. This is like being a heretic. It's heresy. How can you be strict about something that in the Gemara they were not strict about? Something else. The reason you're doing this is because halachically you want to be strict. Who gave you the right to be stricter than the Talmud? How many things they do today in the Jewish community that are stricter than the Talmud? Says heavy kmo epikosut. It's like being a heretic. Epikos? You know the halakha of epikos is? If the epikos is in a pit, you can't kill him. But let's say he has a ladder. It's the only way he can get out. It's the middle of the desert. He said, "Hey, Mr. Epikos, can I borrow your ladder?" He said, "Sure, just bring him back. I need to come out in 20 minutes." You could just not bring him back his ladder. Just forget about it. He could die over there. I'm not advocating this as a halachic position to be executed in the United States of 2018. Relax, everybody. Whoever's going to find this video. But
That's the
a
law.
person wants to be in the category of an epikos. For what reason? Because you want to be strict? That stringency might cost you your life. But it's not normal today. There's a kosher symbol. It's coming Pesach already. So they said the reason why their products are so superior, they don't rely at all on the leniency of our rabbis to nullify things in 60. Well, I found the whole organization should leave in a pit. What do you mean? It's not a leniency that our rabbis say you can nullify in 60. That's the halakha. The halakha is if nullified in 60, it's kosher, 100% kosher. It's no more kosher than before the bugs fell in. What right do you have to be strict? Judaism is not a democracy. Jews think it is, but it's not. They're HaShamayim of the Talmud, and if the Moaim didn't do it, who do you think you are? The Arizal, the Ben Ish Chai got a letter from someone who told him that he waits 24 hours between meat and milk. The Talmud records such an opinion. 24 hours between meat and milk. There was one rabbi who says, I wait 24 hours. Or really, he didn't say that. He said, my father waited 24 hours between meat and milk. And the man tells the Ben Ish Chai he took upon himself that stringency. So the Ben Ish Chai wrote him back crazy words. He said that Arizal was strict about meat and milk. The Arizal would not eat meat and milk on the same day. So if he ate meat today, he would wait until tomorrow morning to have dairy. He wouldn't wait 6 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours. He'd just wait until the next day. But not 24 hours. He says to Ben Ish Chai, what right do you have to think that you are holier than the Arizal? He said, give me a reason not to excommunicate you.
Wow.
It's the exact opposite of today's Judaism. The Moaim didn't do it. You think you know how to do it? This is Yuhara. More examples of Yuhara? I brought some of these in my book. Ada bar Ava, Rav Ada bar Ava, in the Talmud had a son who was born circumcised. He was born with a brit milah already. And he went to 13 mohalim. To do what? If you already had a brit milah, so you didn't do a brit milah, they did a prick for a drop of blood. He went to 13 mohalim to do the brit, and they wouldn't do it. Because it was Shabbat. And they followed the rulings of Rav, the halachos of Rav, that you cannot do this prick on Shabbat, you have to wait till Sunday. The only thing when his milah breaks Shabbat is if it's a real brit milah. But if it's just a prick, so that waits until Sunday. So he decided he wants to be strict. He wants to be stricter than the opinion of Rav, and he found a mohel. Which mohel do you think is going to not follow the halacha? If you went to the 13 top mohalim, this is number 14. This is like way down on the
second
talented.
the 14th stringer.
Right, it was like a...
Second
He did medical school in another planet, not another country, another planet. And he did a brit milah, and his son was no longer able to have children. And Chachamim blamed him that he tried to be strict. And now don't get to me the theological ramifications of why his son had to suffer for something he did. Don't get me here. But how dare he try to be stricter than the halakha, which says that he doesn't have to do a brit milah that day. Chacham Yosef has a letter, a tshuva, in which he says that if you're going to do a brit milah, you do a brit milah on Shabbat. You know, the halakha is if brit milah, the 8th day falls out on Shabbat, we do it on Shabbat. Unless it's a C-section or something like that, that's not. But if it's an 8-day birth of a natural-born baby, we do a brit milah on the 8th day, even if it's Shabbat. Mohel, cutting blood, everything. Chacham Yosef says, if all your family members and your relatives and your friends are all going to drive to the synagogue to be part of that brit, don't do the brit on the 8th day. Wait until Sunday to do the brit milah. It's crazy halakha. When I first told this to one of my friends, it was a rabbi, couldn't believe it, so I brought him an original copy. He said, all these surim that you bring up because you're trying to do something on Shabbat, for what purpose? Oh, waiting a day is a biblical prohibition. Chachamim said it's worth it. Wait until the next day or don't invite anybody. Those are your options.
Don't invite anybody during the 8
It's
day.
very hard. I was in a Beit Knesset on Shabbat. Did a brit milah here in San Diego. And the family hired a camera crew.
What?
Yeah. And in the middle of the Torah, when they did the brit milah, all of a sudden people are coming up with cameras, phones, snapping pictures, taking videos. It's Shabbat. By the time the rabbi trying to chase everybody out, they already had a whole album of pictures. These are real halakha questions. You think you're being so strict that you're going to do brit milah on the right day, but what else is coming along with it?
It's like the Satmar rabbi does Kol Nidre, right? So,
There's
on the film.
they have, unfortunately it's not just the Satmar rabbi. There's a lot of Kol Nidres on the internet right now. And it's very scary actually.
Wow.
They're not filming.
Yeah. None by people who are.
Uh-huh.
So if I have a video of the biggest Kol Nidre in Uman, so I'll make a lot of money for this Kol Nidre.
Oh.
Rabbi, what about if you need to do the brit milah in the days and it's Shabbat? What if you don't invite not many people, just a rabbi, but they live close around?
Right, that's okay. That's the way we always do it.
I
Yes,
want to do the brit milah and make a party.
correct. Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam. There's a custom to wear tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam. What's tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam? The ones that we wear. Whose tefillin are those?
Rashi.
Rashi, right? That's Rashi tefillin. What does it mean? Inside of the tefillin are 4 chapters, and they go in a certain order. That's the way Rashi interprets them. That's the way it's ruled on in the Shulchan Aruch. There's an opinion of Rabbeinu Tam, Rashi's descendant, that says that you have to put them in a different order. And now we don't know if the tefillin that Rashi wears or the tefillin Rabbeinu Tam wears, which one is correct. Now, the truth is the Vilna Gaon heard about this, and he said it's crazy. Because if you do the math, there's 4 opinions. He writes there are 60 different combinations of which way you can. Am I right with the math? If there's 4
There's
and
4
4,
parshiot.
and you can mix around the orders, And that gives you 60 combinations.
More like 16, I think. There's something like 16 or 15, 16 or 16 conversation.
Okay, he got somehow to the number 60. I'm going to look for the source and we'll do the math
Oh,
together.
okay. Maybe there's another combo or something. Where
Maybe the hand and the head.
Yeah.
Does that add numbers?
That would definitely, that would make it 64.
64, yes, you're right. Samach Dalet. Okay, very good. So, he says if that's the case, you should own 64 pairs of tefillin. Like if you're already starting to take all the opinions into consideration, so when are you going to stop? So he used to make a lot of fun of people who wore Rabbeinu Tam tefillin. The Shulchan Aruch rules that the only person who's allowed to wear Rabbeinu Tam tefillin is a person who's muchzak b'chasidut, mefursam b'chasidut, that's a word, famous, be righteous. Someone who it's the kind of person who wearing one pair of tefillin is not enough for them. They're very righteous people, they wear extra things, they do extra mitzvot. This kind of person is allowed to wear tefillin. The Mishnah Berurah brings a story, if I'm not mistaken, the Mishnah Berurah, where a man put on Rabbeinu Tam tefillin, and the rabbi came and tore them off of his hands. Who do you think you are? How could you wear an extra pair of tefillin? He actually went and tore the tefillin off of him. Who do you think you are? In some communities, every Joe Schmo wears Rabbeinu Tam tefillin. And according to halakha, I know there are those who argue. I don't care what those argue. But according to halakha, only if a person is very righteous can they put on Rabbeinu Tam tefillin. And even then, let me tell you the truth, is in Morocco, nobody wore Rabbeinu Tam tefillin. If I'm not mistaken, in Yemen it was the same. They didn't have, even the righteous people didn't do such a thing. Another place where Maran talks about Yuhama is, oh, by the way, today, there's certain groups where even 13-year-olds buy 2 pairs of tefillin. So Raphael said that maybe today it's different. Maybe today, if you put on a second pair of tefillin, it's not showing off. It's publicly humiliating yourself that you're in the category of all the idiots like the 13-year-olds who are wearing Rabbeinu Tam tefillin. So maybe today it's okay to wear Rabbeinu Tam tefillin. Was not said seriously.
Isn't there something about wearing those kinds of tefillin if you miss mincha or something, and it's the only way to catch up?
Yeah, the Mekubalim write down very good. Mekubalim write that if you missed one whole day of tefillin, or you thought bad thoughts, impure thoughts while you're wearing your tefillin, you are pogem, you invalidate your Rashi tefillin, spiritually. Physically they're kosher, but spiritually they're not. And therefore the only way to fix that is to wear Rabbeinu Tam tefillin. And if a person invalidates the Rabbeinu Tam tefillin by talking in them or by thinking something wrong in them, there's nothing they can do after that to fix their tefillin. And therefore, the Ben Ish Chai recommends that a person waits until they're married, until their thoughts settle down a little bit, and then they should wear Rabbeinu Tam tefillin. Yeah.
So that means the Rabbeinu Tam tefillin is holier than Rashi?
That's what the Kabbalists say. The poskim don't look at it as holier than Rashi. They look at it as, it's like you've unlocked that level where you're not worried about one time putting on tefillin a day, but you need 2 pairs of tefillin a day. You're that holy that you don't have any mitzvot left. Except for this one.
But even if it might be holier, you definitely, if you were on a limited budget, you definitely wouldn't buy Rabbeinu Tam only.
Correct.
Yeah.
If, according to everybody, if you just wear Rabbeinu Tam tefillin, you probably didn't get your mitzvah of tefillin.
There's so much to Judaism, so much to learn, so much to read. Why are people running after these so observable things?
This Kabbalah did to the world. This I cannot. By the way, somebody once told me, I don't even know if it's true. Oh, see, we unearthed a city in Israel and they had 2 kinds of tefillin. I don't even know if it's true, but let's pretend that it's true. You see that? It shows you they wore 2 pairs of tefillin. I said no. It just shows you that this war is older than Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam. Meaning it went back even to the Second Temple time. Could be. If the story is true in the first place. It doesn't tell you that people wore both. The Ben Ish Chai even holds that you wear both at the same time. I don't know if you've ever seen such a thing. Let me see if I can pull up a picture for you. Forgive me that I'm doing this on camera. Because in Yerushalayim you have people who do this. Rabbi Yosef holds that it's forbidden to do this. Because you can't, it's like adding to the mitzvah.
You kind of rooster them up all on the same plane, or you do like
You wear them one on top of the other.
stack.
Right, oh, here. I'll pass around and I'll explain.
Well, just let me know when if I'm gonna buy one, just let me know what is the.
Just don't matter.
Instead of being so worried about wearing 2 pairs of tefillin, why don't they give that money?
Oh yeah, it's like they're roostering them up.
Shaar, There's something else I could do.
Now, how does that work? Because you know that tefillin have to be in a very specific spot.
Yeah.
So what they do is they make very small tefillin, and they make two tefillin fit in the same size space as one pair of tefillin, and therefore they hold that that's considered both of them being in the right spot.
Or maybe they border the hairline, maybe, or something. So.
They're basically kind of, if your tefillin go like this, so they have two, one here, and that's within the one box that you would normally have for their tefillin. And on the hand, they put one tefillin. The straps go one on top of the other, and they're right next to each other.
Huh.
And according to Rabbi Yonatan Halevy, this is forbidden to do, but the Ben Ish Chai, this is the way he held that you have to put on Rabbi Yonatan and Rashi.
Yeah, because the strap's not supposed to have anything between the strap
Interfering
and the
them.
skin.
So his
right?
whole thing is it's a strap of tefillin, so it's not interfering. Right, this is one of those Kabbalah and Halakha clashing with each other. One of the examples Rabbi Peretz quotes as Yuhara is this whole thing of washing your hands for a meal of fruit.
It's real meal.
Rabbi Peretz brings Shulchan Aruch that says that when you pray, you're not allowed to pray with your hands and your hips. That's considered yuhava. You pray with your hands. Also, some say your hands shouldn't. Or, I'm actually not sure Rabbi Peretz referring to this. Rabbi Peretz is referring to this. This is his hand. You're not referring hand, but your arms. You know, in Hebrew, hand and arm have the same word. Yad.
So you can't hold your
Yeah.
arm like this.
What?
So you can't hold your arm
No,
like
it's not.
this.
These are all arrogant ways to pray.
There's this power pose called templing your fingers, like this.
Right, that's something. So the Arizal was against it for Kabbalistic reasons, but
Yeah.
this whole sometimes you'll see a person like they come to Bechesed, they're leaning back in their chair and they're like you know, you're not at the beach. You know, sit up straight, and the rest of the time you can do what you want. But when you're praying, you have to pray without arrogance.
It's hard to hold a sitter like this.
The Sdei Chemet writes that it's forbidden to study Torah in the street.
Clean.
They're walking around with the Chumash and the Governor Drive, like, you know, I'm so holy, look at me. I even read Torah when I walk. Now, I saw Rav Nevinsal in Yerushalayim, that's how he walks, with a Gemara, little paperback Gemara, walking. Okay, listen, Rav Nevinsal, he's Mefusam B'Chasidut, he's known to be righteous, so I'm not going to say these apply to him. Or maybe he doesn't hold it as Dechemet, but Rav Peretz writes that it's okay maybe to look at it without reading the words out loud. You're just looking at something. Nobody knows what you're learning. Today, in today's world, you have your phone. You can look at your iPhone and study so much Torah. I used to have to carry a little book with me when I went to weddings. So, you know, all of the time they're at the chuppah announcing this person, songs, the nieces are walking down. There's so much time wasted. I used to have a little book with me. Today, Baruch Hashem, you have on your phone. So now I don't even have to look like I'm being religious. I just look at my phone. And you have what I do most of the time. That's how I finish the Rambam's letters. Every wedding I was at, I would start reading the Rambam's letters. And I have an app on my phone that has the Rambam letters. Baruch Hashem, that's the... Yeah, you could do such a thing.
Wow.
Today with Sefaria, you could do it with Hebrew and English.
But does that eliminate the need? Does that cure you of the need to not I mean, does that solve the problem of not praying in public? Because I thought you told us, for example, like it's not a good idea to pray on the airplane, but then I read somewhere, or maybe you taught that you're not supposed to even pray in public. Period. Like if you use an iPhone, would that work because you're not really holding a book? Is the problem the book?
The
or is
prayer
the
is that calling
praying?
yourself, the calling attention to yourself, and also interrupts your kavanah.
Yeah.
With prayer, I would say that here it's so you don't show off. Like, look at me, I'm the one who's learning.
Yeah.
By prayer, it's different. You need a place with kavanah. So some would argue that you shouldn't even use your phone to pray, really. You should just go to a place and pray. And sometimes happens to me. I take my kids to SeaWorld. I have to pray minchas. I've already found out which buildings have nothing behind them.
Like a little alcove.
Yeah, I'm always afraid some maintenance guy's gonna find me there thinking I'm doing something wrong. But for right now, it's been working out. I go behind the building and I pray over there.
Okay. Got it.
In terms of learning, though, I think the phone will tell people think you're just wasting your time playing Candy Crush or whatever else everyone else is doing on their phone. Kriyat Shema, famous opinion of Beit Shammai that you have to stand up for the daytime Shema, sit down for the nighttime Shema. We don't follow that opinion. Rather, if you're sitting for Shema, you sit. If you're standing for Shema, you stand. We're not allowed to do those opinions. Okay, there are a number of other examples of Yuhara. The bottom line is things that Halakha says are okay, and you decide that I need to show everyone how holy I am. That's not allowed in Halakha. It's called Yuhara. The similar Halakha. When we pray Arvit here early in the summer, let's say, it's a little too early, before the right time to say Shema, we announce everyone should go home and repeat Shema. The Shulchan Aruch says that a Chassid who's famous for his Chassidut should also repeat the Amidah. Because if the Shema was at the wrong time, for sure the Amidah was at the wrong time. So he says the reason we don't repeat the Amidah is because we're not famously righteous. It would look like what? You barely prayed Arvit with Kavanah the first time. You could do it the second time? But if somebody was righteous, they should pray Amidah a second time. Because it's late. The sunset could be 7:30. So it's too late for people. You're in Seattle. Sunsets at 10:15.
But you can't do it.
You can. There's the time before sunset. You could pray Arvit.
Okay.
Yep. That is Yuha. Let's do one more halakha on page 58 and 59, and then we'll be done with Seif Hey, and we'll be able to continue next week with Seif Vav. Natilat yadayim, page 58, washing your hands, lebasar tzli, for roasted meat, umvushal, and cooked meat. I already told you this halakha outside, but let's read it inside. Hauchel basar tzli, if a person eats roasted meat, afilu hudach habasar b'mayim kodem hatzliya, and even though you washed it with water before the roasting. Harei mityabshim hamayim she'alav, the water evaporates on it, or dries up, b'shat hatzliya, while you're roasting it. Ve'en ze nichshav ledavar shetibulo, and it's not considered something that was dipped into liquid, meaning, if you would dry the apple that was wet, would you have to wash your hands for it? No, this is the same thing. You roasted the water out of it. What do I care if you got rid of it with heat or you got rid of it with a towel? And even after the roasting, there's still stuff coming out, like liquids from the meat. It's not considered a liquid enough to make you wash your hands. And therefore, the one who eats roasted meat is like a person who eats dried fruit. Not dried fruit like dried, mangoes. Fruit that's not wet. And therefore he's forbidden from washing his hands before this. But if you eat food that was cooked in water, in a liquid, like a brisket, imagine. You must wash your hands before you eat it, so long as the meat is still moist. And only when you eat it with a fork or a spoon. And especially if that's the way everybody eats this meat, is with a fork or a spoon or fork, really. You don't have to wash your hands. It's like eating some kind of cooked food. So most people, I can't say everybody, most people don't grab the brisket with their bare hands and start eating it. Or most people, I can't say everybody, don't grab the chicken off the Shabbat plate. You're eating the chicken like that. Now, some do. That's already, I can't help you. But you can imagine like barbecue chicken wings.
Oh, yeah.
That might be something that requires nitilat yadayim. That's different than chicken you eat with a fork and a knife. But most of us are eating our food from our plate with a fork and a knife, and therefore we are not required in nitilat yadayim anyways. And that is perhaps our biggest loophole in this whole halakha. It's the same thing with salad. How many of you eat your salad with your fingers? There might be, there could be. I'm not going to rule it out. But for the most part, using a fork, a knife, a spoon, something to eat your salad with, and therefore you don't have to do nitilat yadayim, even if it has olive oil or water or something like that.
So
That might not be true in like a vegetable platter where people are taking with their fingers and it's wet. That could be a different story.
So basically, you're saying that when you basically eating, and we all use forks and knives pretty much. So you don't basically have to wash if you're not having,
Your hands are clean and using a fork and a knife most of the time.
even if occasionally you'll pick something up.
That's already a question. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Don't pick it up with your fingers.
Those tray passed appetizers, that may be the most common example of where we would need to do that like dime with you're dipping your like the carrot stick into the
Right.
little white sauce or whatever the
It'll
dip.
look that people are not particular about this halakha at all. I'm calling my parents anyways this week, so I'm gonna run this by him because
Oh, okay.
somebody's not sitting well with me.
The chip into the guacamole.
Rabbi Abadi. Well, what's in the guacamole that would require fat today? The
That's-
avocado doesn't need.
It's not really liquidish, right?
The vinegar doesn't
It's
need
like
if it's not wine vinegar. Is there water in guacamole?
What about salsa?
Sauces.
Wait. And let's finish guacamole. Onions, anything in there?
Onions, garlic.
No, they don't. we
No,
don't put water.
guacamole wouldn't require.
Pepper.
Salsa, if it has water,
She usually does, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Comes out water.
so then that would be a
Salsa
different
water.
story. Hummus, for example. Hummus wouldn't need, and even if it has olive oil, it's not a majority of that mixture. Tchina, on the other hand, tchina has both olive oil and water in it. It has lemon juice, which is not a problem. But it could be the tchina, certain kind of more liquidy kind of tchina, might need it's that to them as well, according to this.
Well, Baba Ganoush.
No,
Well, you're making us hungry tonight, hello.
But the guacamole, you need to make sure because you never know because some people do put water on it.
That's
We
mentioned by
and
the
not-
Rambam. Remember, the Rambam
yeah,
said
and-
even like a little bit of
yeah.
water is okay. But if it
Okay.
becomes a majority of that mixture,
Oh,
it's different than Pesach. That's
In
what
our
we
house,
said.
Yeah, it's not
Put water.
patel b'shishim, it's just basically a little bit, like not even majority, it's just.
Right,
more
it's
like-
just, it's there for whatever reason. The tomatoes were wet. Like, that's really, we're not particular about.
But like when you make your olive tapenade, I mean, you're definitely crushing and squeezing it, a liquid comes out of it. Is that enough to make a difference, or would you have to have
And,
like
and
double?
I add olive oil to it.
Oh,
So no.
Yeah, that, you could argue though that's a liquid.
Yeah, because the tomato has liquid inside when you.
Tapenade is not like
It's not liquid.
so.
Let me call repair to you. I saw Rabbi Abadi this week say, look at all these people being strict about everything, but when they take their pickles out of the jar, they don't wash their hands first. Which means that even he, who's very lenient in halachot, is particular about this.
Now, if you wash your hands,
You have to have an open mind that this could be a halakha like Yashan, where just people don't know about it. And that's why they don't keep it. But if they knew about it, they would keep it. But you don't know it's in Baltimore. You should know Baltimore. Baltimore is a special yeshiva because there are a lot of people who are very particular about halachot. Not the yeshiva, like individuals who studied a lot of halakha. The Sfaradim, yes. I remember that Rabbi Ezra, for example, was very particular that we should go wash our hands for the wet grapes and things like that. Yeah, but I'm thinking about the regular student. I'll look into it. Well, talking about Rabbi Ezra, he would. And we'd come to his house Friday night for an Oneg Shabbat, and there were like fruit platters, and he would make us all get up, go to the kitchen, wash our hands without a blessing, and come back. I remember that vividly. I think it was the weirdest thing in my life, but that's why he did it. He was the only one. Good news. His son is getting married, Baruch Hashem, in a month or two in New York. So it's I'm going to stop the class over here. Because the next halakha is already, it's another topic, and I want to do that next week.